All right, all right, all right, all right. T-My back again for another drive time. Um, if you can like it, you can share it. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Never take the light of truth and place it under a basket. A couple of things I want to talk about. Try not to be too long. Try to keep it short in the pants. So, um, a lot of people, come with the conspiracy theories. I don't know what motivates them, but I actually did a search on why do people believe conspiracy theories not founded in fact. And it says basically that people will believe these things because when it does not match their worldview, they are motivated to reject the facts. Now, I've had everybody posting on my wall about it's 5G, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's just ridiculous. I'm not even going to get into the point of repeating all of it, but I will say this. Corona is not a result of 5G. Corona is not the reason why the earth is flat. Corona did not cause HIV, and Corona is a virus. It is real, and people are dying. Now, I think I may have swapped the word Corona for 5G, but you know what I'm talking about. But just in case, I'm going to repeat it. 5G is not responsible for HIV. 5G is not responsible for Corona. 5G is not responsible for the earth being flat. As simple as that. But I have had to contend with folk. T-My, listen to this, T. I'm not interested. I just don't do it. And I put information out there explaining all of the different types of EMFs from visible light to invisible light, radio waves, microwaves, infrared, the whole 9 yards. So if you want to get an education, just go read a little bit and get an understanding. And I had a cell phone back in the early 80s when it was basically new. And I know police officers had it in the 70s, but I remember people back then saying cell phones are going to give you cancer. Now they've come out with 5G and it's a whole new ball game all over again. God, I just wish they would go back to calling it cellular service and leave the G stuff off. And when they upgrade the speed or the capabilities, just do it, because I hate to be around, probably won't, when they come out with 10G. But let me get to this China situation, because people miss a lot of information that's starting to come out. So let me talk about the coronavirus. Fact, it's a disease. I know of people who have died, close friends of mine who have had parents to pass away. The virus is real and the virus kills. I posted interviews from 2 doctors. One doctor talking about what he knows that will cure or is an effective treatment against the coronavirus. Chloroquine and a antibiotic like amoxicillin or something of that nature. There's another doctor who has said the ventilators, what they have been using to treat them with, is all wrong, because, and I know this because I dealt with my mother 1 full year. She laid up on her back on a ventilator. And the reason she was on a vent, which is the primary function, is because she could no longer breathe on her own. She had a massive stroke on the right side of her brain. The whole right hemisphere of her brain was basically destroyed. She could not breathe on her own. And our hope was that with the vent, taking her off periodically to allow her to breathe on her own, would get her to the point where she would be able to breathe on her own. We could get her off the vent permanently and bring her home. Never got to that. And my mother lost the battle due to a combination of other issues. But I digress. What Dr. Seidel talked about was people that they have been putting on the vent providing pressure, which is what the vent was used for in my mother's case. Secondary to that, they can provide oxygen as well. He was saying pressure is not what these people need. But when a person can't get enough oxygen, this appears to be what it's almost like they have high altitude sickness. No matter how deeply they breathe, they just can't seem to get enough air, but their lung muscles are fine. And the guy was saying the treatment methods have been wrong. Look, I'm not a doctor, but I understood what the guy was talking about. He broke it down in simple terms. Go to my Facebook wall or just Google the man's name and look it up for yourself. I don't recall the other doctor's name. He was talking about the patients that he has treated, but I've seen other doctors saying the same thing. And more importantly, I said, instead of getting caught up in all the conspiracy theories, why not just follow Trump's tweets? He talks to us directly. He speaks to you directly, and he drops breadcrumbs for you. Listen, no matter what you may think about anything that's going on in the world, every effect had a preceding cause that brought on that effect, period. Sometimes people don't say things directly, just like Jesus spoke in parables at times. There was a reason for it. So look at it as though when Trump may say something that's cryptic, understand he's trying to give you a message. Now, Trump dropped the name chloroquine on national news and in a tweet. And lo and behold, we now have these doctors coming out and saying they have been treating patients with it, and in 8 to 12 hours, they show no symptoms. Now, these doctors are putting their reputations on the line. And if they are treating people with something that they're not doing, hell, they could lose their license. Their reputations could be destroyed, and I'm sure they aren't doing it for YouTube views. So look a little deeper and stop listening to all this flat earth quackery about this is the result of 5G. It is not. A friend of mine, Hank Sullivan, posted, do you think Trump would suffer through this nightmare to save America just to let people burn up with 5G technology? Hell no. And people over in Italy that were dying, they barely have a 5G footprint. Yet they started out with the highest percentage of in their death toll. So just a little critical thinking will take you a very, very long way. And there are a lot of breadcrumbs out there that are being put there for you. You may not be able to put the pieces together, but if you just pay attention and study, you will see things. Now, getting back to China, I put a post out there why Trump got in and started in China on trade is there without the help of politicians here in America. That's right. I said it just like I used to tell Negroes. Do you think that a handful of people on ships went into the whole of Africa or East Africa and, excuse me, folks, and subjugated half a continent to bring slaves to America, the Caribbeans, etc.? No, they had help. People inside America. Inside Africa. African leadership. They were complicit. So the position that China found itself in, getting banked, getting wealthy, while we incurred more and more debt over time, is a result of U.S. politicians here in our country, people that you voted for. Yeah, and there was a time when I voted for a few of them myself. But that's how we got there. And that was one of the first, three primary things that Trump attacked. People coming into the country with extreme vetting and wanting to secure the border. He had tried to plug the holes first. Wanted to secure the border, he wanted to do extreme vetting. Then Trump went after the trade deals that we had in place, and he wanted to started to negotiating with those trade deals. And the other one was our interventionist policies. You have not seen us going in and engaging in anything that resulted in regime change. The most you have seen is Trump standing up and saying, hey, we're not lying down for you, and I am not going to allow politicians in this country to implement policies that embolden you, policies that enrich you and allow you to personally enrich these politicians. I used to always say, Trump is overturning the money changers' tables. These are the things that you have been seeing play out in media. So what happened? China controls who? The World Health Organization. And they are as dirty as they come, just like the UN. Trump talked about both of them. And with that being said, when this thing started with China, they want to be a world player. They want to sit at the table. But when it comes to them having an explosive situation over there, they kick out our media. They don't allow our doctors inside to see what's going on so that we can learn. They want to keep whatever technology or whatever tools that they are using to treat those that are sick in their country to themselves. And then, here's the kicker, and I'll be done, where our politicians have allowed corporations to export their businesses and to source their material goods from China mainly and other countries, when we needed those supplies that are made in China, what did China do? They started slowing the shipment of those goods, gloves, M95 masks, and things of that nature. They turned the ships back around. But our politicians put us in that position because of the PACs that fund their campaigns to provide them with the legislation that allowed it to happen. Why? So that the one percenters, the owners of those corporations, would make more money, greater profit. Where do you think a greedy person is going to have their Nikes made? China or America? In America, they pay somebody $10, $12 an hour. In China, the labor is what, $2, $3 an hour? If that, what do you think they're going to opt for? So they pay the lobbyists to get the legislation to make that happen. And all of this started with Bush Sr. When this trade deal thing started hitting the pike, that's where it came from. Bush negotiated the first one, NAFTA, and Bill Clinton signed it. And after that, the other remaining three amigos, hey man, they just continue full headlong with it. That is what we have. That is why we were in the situation that we are. Thank God we have a leader like Donald Trump. And Johnny Kane, if you don't like that I support Donald Trump, stop commenting on my wall. It's my wall. And I can talk about whatever I choose. It's not yours. You need to understand that. And that's another thing that I don't understand about people. When I don't agree with them, when I don't want to read their garbage about 5G is the cause of coronas, they want to call me ignorant and tell me that I've been blinded on my wall. I don't agree with you. It's as simple as that. Like, this is my video. You're free to comment, but you don't have to call me ignorant, stupid, or dumb because I don't believe your language alert, because I don't believe your bullshit, and that's all it is. Bullshit. So, stop it. I'm not interested. Get an understanding. Do a little bit of critical thinking and see for yourself. We wouldn't have a shortage of masks if we weren't manufacturing all the damn masks over in China. We wouldn't have had a run on toilet paper if we weren't getting it all manufactured over in China. None of those things would have been happening. Plain and simple. And if we hadn't given China a seat at the table to begin with, they would not be an issue today. It's as plain and simple as that. China even makes the medicines for the military. And they have been our enemy, the enemy of the people, not the enemy to the politicians that help make China what China is today. That is what you need to understand. So I hope that I have cleared it up for some of you. Others, maybe not so. That's not my cross to bear. I'm just telling you the information that I know to be factually accurate as it is. And that's just it. So I really ain't got nothing else for you. TMOT out. Drive time till next time. Peace.